special purpose vehicle and party ideology. Now, when it comes to the Labour Party, I'm going to get to the ideology of the Labour Party. What do you stand? Because what he said was, what I stand for, they don't stand for that. And based on that, I have resigned. You have been very upset about that and the phrase special purpose vehicle being used for the Labour Party. Why does it rub you so wrongly, Mr. Okonkwo? If someone decided that my thinking process or my ideology, haven't we been asking politicians to have ideologies? Haven't we been asking political parties to stand on ideologies? If someone has decided that this is a different ideology from mine and I do not want to be here anymore, why would that make the person someone that you're very upset with? What's the problem?
Well, maybe obviously you did not hear that interview. The first thing I said is that I wished him well.
That was the first thing you said?
Absolutely.
Then you went on
to
say other things.
It was his fundamental human right. I said I had a problem with his choice of words. And that is where you call the special purpose vehicle. Because the only thing I know, and I don't know why people of that his age like special purpose vehicle. I don't like it.
Oh, we've heard this. You even said it in the beginning of this interview. A political party is a vehicle. It is a means to an end.
You just said vehicle.
Yeah.
I didn't say special purpose.
But it is a means to an end. If a party is a means to an end, why are you upset that they called it a special? Let me give it a special status. Yes. It's a special vehicle.
Yes, because when you say vehicle simpliciter, you are using it in the English sense.
A conveyor.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I wouldn't have a problem with that. Now, when you say special purpose vehicle, you begin to remind Nigerians what popularized that word. Like I recalled, when Michael Achimogu or something exposed one tape, he said the presidential candidate of PDP told him that they established companies as special purpose vehicles through which they siphon money through consultancy contract. So, going Okupe, being aware of this,
using that phrase,
it is demeaning to him, especially when he knows that rightly or wrongly he was convicted. So I don't know why people of that age do like that special purpose vehicle, and it's still happening even in this regime. The same humanitarian affairs ministry is now another special purpose vehicle to carry money through the same consultancy services award. So that's why I said no, I don't like that word, special purpose vehicle. But if the people of that age, if they like it so much, we can give them the copyright and let them have it. But Labour Party that I know is committed to building a new Nigerian personality. This is what is in their objective. That will be altruistic, that will be patriotic, and that will be committed selflessly to building a new nation. In their objective, I saw it before I entered, but principally, if you had my first interview, when I resigned from APC, I said I was Obi-centric, meaning I have seen a politician with the accurate agenda I am looking for that can give me the new Nigeria I'm fighting for, and I'm willing to follow him. Obi-centric means centered on Obi.
So that
I did not intend to be a member of a political party. No, political party.
Okay.
But when I was promoting Obi, I was still reminded that on the election day, you will not see an Obi there. It is Labour Party that you will see. When the Labour Party came calling, and it made tremendous reasoning to me. If you're promoting Obi and you're not promoting the platform, you're wasting your time. There is no independent candidacy. So I needed to promote both of them. And that is why Obi cannot be divested from Labour Party or the other way around. And indeed, even by the letter of Doyin Okupe, he said Labour Party was not burdensome to them. Meaning they didn't ask Shishi. That is the way we should go. That is integrity on its own. Now, when you say ideological differences, which one? I do not see clear-cut ideological differences in all the political parties. So,
what about between the Labour Party and the PDP?
You don't understand. What I see is politicians who have different agenda.
Are you saying that the Labour Party in ideology does not differ from the PDP?
I said there's no clear cut. If you still go to PDP, go to APC, go to Labour, you still see some similarities, both in their constitution. You check the structure. Just check the structure. You have National Convention.
So you think his claims are bogus? The claim of a difference in ideology, you think it's bogus? You don't
Again, it makes you to appear as if you're an opportunist. Because saying you enter the party just to win or lose election is not a good thing. So I'm saying that if I were in his shoes and I wanted to resign, I would just resign. One word. I wish to resign for personal reasons. Chicken.
Okay, well, you did.
So I wish him well. Since he resigned, he did not take us into the election. So since he resigned, he did not participate in any other thing we're done. It was only once I saw him when he was coming out of private jets.
Wait, since he resigned, what do you mean?
Yes, no. Since he stepped down, as he resigned first as the DG.
Yes.
Good. So since he resigned as the DG,
okay,
there was no other activity he ever participated in Labour Party. That's why I said he constructively actually left the party then. The only time I saw him was when he was coming out of the plane with the APC gubernatorial candidate in Ogun State. That was the only time I saw him publicly. I can't remember.
Are you accusing him?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
You're sure?
No, he just resigned. He has not joined any place. But the only place I saw him,
the only place you saw him
was coming out from the plane. With the APC. I think they went to commission one project or something. So.
There will you would have to answer for that later. But I want you to be able to talk, a little bit about the Labour Party in itself. The Labour Party kind of fashioned itself out to be this movement of the people, movement of young people especially. And yes, anyone who wants to deny that should feel free to do so. But, we did see that momentum. With everything that's happened since the 2023 general elections, court judgments, divisions in your party, court cases as a result of divisions in your party, Mr. Okupe's resignation, whether you think it matters or not. And of course, this talk now about a coalition which Peter Obi is a part of. With all of this going on, do you think that Labour Party still has that momentum that it did back then?
It has greater momentum now.
Greater momentum?
Absolutely. I am telling you, because Obi has more followers. As a matter of fact, he is now...
You see, that's something I've noticed in this conversation, Mr. Kenneth.
No.
I will say, in Labour Party, you will say Obi.
You're sure?
Is there a difference between Labour Party and Obi?
No. You should know better than myself that whoever is the presidential candidate is regarded as the leader of the party.
So you're saying the Labour Party
yes,
and Peter Obi have more supporters now?
Absolutely. That's one. Secondly, there's no division in Labour Party. Not one. And if you call me any day, I will prove it.
To differ, sir.
Can you differ? Starting from you.
Let me give you the arguments against it.
Go ahead.
First of all, remember the court case between the two different heads of the party?
Which who and who?
You know this.
I am a lawyer.
Yes.
So it's not as if I.
Are you saying that there has never been a division in the Labour Party?
There has never been any court case between any leader of this side, maybe faction, and this side. Quote me on that.
Okay.
None. And I said, ask me the question. I have said it now openly. I am saying it. Tell me the leader you have in mind. Tell me the case he has in court. Tell me whether he's a party to that case.
So what really happened with Apapa and Abure?
Good. There is no court case anywhere in Nigeria.
I have heard this. That's why I didn't want to mention that name.
Where you have Apapa as a plaintiff and Abure as a defendant, and quote me as a lawyer.
There is no case like that.
There is no case like that. If there is any, bring it on.
Okay. So absolute unity in the Labour Party.
Oneness.
Haven't done anything
There
wrong.
will always be political charlatans. Have you ever seen a place where you have only two people?
Are there political charlatans in the Labour Party?
There are political charlatans everywhere in Nigeria.
Are there in the Labour Party? Are they there?
I said everywhere in Nigeria. Labour Party is part of Nigeria. Everywhere. Singing hallelujah to the leaders, even when the leader is cursing their mother.
If you insist, if you want to go this route, let's do it.
I have told you, if there is any court case between that man and Julius Abure, bring it on.
If the party does not address, in truth, if these because there are actual divisions,
hold on, my dear, hold on.
If these things are not addressed, and if solutions and reconciliation doesn't happen, how are you going to position yourself for 2027?
Very good. Now, we just finished 2023. How many of their purported candidates ever was recognized by the court as genuine? Do you know they went to Supreme Court? And our candidates were not even party to it. And yet Supreme Court told them to get out your medicine in Taulopaz. So even you're mentioning that there's a faction, you're being contemptuous of the court orders and the judgment of court.
No, we didn't say that.
Let me tell you.
We didn't say that they were. We didn't say that they were.
They went to. No, that's what I'm saying.
We said that there was an impasse.
No,
there was an impasse. We didn't say that there was.
I faction from your mouth. But you have the right to withdraw it.
Did not say faction. I refuse to agree.
They went to Bini.
We said that there was an impasse in your party.
They went to Bini.
Okay, so you're
to extort money.
So you're now explaining to us the things that you said didn't happen.
No, I said there are political charlatans everywhere. That's what I regard. That's what I refer to them.
So you're referring now to the political charlatans
I've always said that. I've always said that.
Okay. So what happened when they went to Benin?
They want to extort people in the name of organizing a gubernatorial election. That's extortion. That is crime. As a matter of fact, you don't even understand. They don't even know that the citizens of Benin have the right to arrest them with reasonable force and hand them over to the police. I'm talking about Section 39 of the Police Act. Anybody you catch committing crime in your presence, you have a duty as a citizen to apprehend that person and hand the person over to the police. They went there to extort people, even after the judgments of the court. Okay, in Imo State, will it please you to know that the Apapa faction organized their own faction.
You see,
The Labour Party youth leader organized his own
faction. So
faction.
you said Apapa faction. So there's an Apapa faction.
No, not the Labour Party. Apapa faction as in their political charlatanism. I'm not talking about Labour Party. Now, even the Labour Party purported youth leader organized his own gubernatorial election away from the Papa, and they were extorting money from people. Now, without even our candidate being a party to it, Supreme Court threw it out. Is that not extortion on those candidates? Should we leave them to be doing these things? No. If a man comes to your house and defecates, you use a stick and break his head. That is cultural from where I come from. Before you hand him over to the police. So if people are resisting extortion, it is legal. It is according to the law. Every citizen should help the security agencies to do what? To fight crime.
In positioning itself for 2027,
yes.
is this party the one that is going to wrestle power away from the All Progressives Congress in 2027? As is.
I am really very surprised.
As is, Kenneth Okonkwo. Is this the party that's going to do it as it is? Or are there things that need to be fixed? Let's look inwards. Are there things that need to be looked at? You don't think so? None at all?
When you introduced me, you did not add prophets to my name. How come you're asking me what will happen in 2027?
Well, if your party is moving towards, we're looking at engaging electoral processes before, so we don't all get surprised.
I just told you that I support the idea of a coalition, and I told you it's a platform and it's negotiable. So we are negotiating, and there is no way I can tell you the result. So watch out the events. I wouldn't know how anything will turn out.
What would be ideal for you? What would be ideal for you?
That is consistent in his fight for a new Nigeria, based on his 7-point agenda, which, if circumstances change, new things can be added. Before 2009 in Nigeria, we didn't have this kind of insurgency.
Should he be pushing that 7-point agenda under the umbrella of the Labour Party?
He's a member of the Labour Party now. That's what he would do. That's what he will continue to do, except there is any new arrangement. I mean,
is there a possibility of a new arrangement?
Why not? Why not?
How so?
Change is the only thing that is constant. If all the other parties say they want to use Labour Party now as the platform, and PDP say we want to join the people, saying that P2B is the best candidate to give us this election.
Or the other way around, why would P2B join in?
No, it's not possible.
Okay, that's not possible.
Yes, it's not possible. Like I said, it's not possible. If P2B wants to be the vice president of Atiku Abubakar, he better does it alone, not with me. Oh yes, and I'm serious about it. And why am I saying so? A man is approaching 80 years. 80 years. And you're talking now, by 2027, how old will he be? There is no other younger person. You know what Wole Soyinka said? He said, when I went to Aso Rock, I told the president
not to run.
That I had told you not to run. He said it. He said article. It was based on age. There was nothing personal. Babangida said he would prefer anybody that is younger to become president. And then he was saying, after our fighting in 2023, and P2B had a chance of being a VP, and he did not become a VP, and in 2027, he will now go back when the man has degenerated more in age and in capacity. Then he will now go back to become VP. And then you want Kenneth Okonkwo to say what? No, what will I tell Nigerians? So if the coalition is going to be based on justice, they get men of integrity and character to lead the party first and ensure party discipline and ideology, and then get presidential candidates that are younger, that are people of character, capacity, and competence. Why not? Atiku should be a father now, a statesman that should be thinking about the next generation, not the next election.
Not a candidate.
For what? What has he not achieved? Is it a small thing to be a vice president of a country? The man has achieved practically everything. God has blessed him. He should not stretch the luck too far.
Okay. I'm sure he has heard you. I want you to be able to get, what time is so far spent. I mean, I want you to be able to get your thoughts on a lot of the things that are going on in the country. Of course, everyone has been talking about. Just if you can shorten responses with the suspension of Betta Edu. Let's start with that one. It's brought up the conversation about intervention programs in general.
Yes.
I know a lot of lawyers who are against the concept of intervention programs at all. What do you? And of course, we've seen the president suspend the NSIPs. Yes. What do you make of that humanitarian affairs minister situation and the suspension of social investment programs in the country?
The concept of that program is corruption.
So you're among those. I suspected you'd be among those.
No, it's not to have been there in the first place. If you wanted to give palliatives to Nigerians, the best thing is you wouldn't have removed oil subsidy, because everybody in Nigeria would have been enjoying that palliative.
So you think subsidy, the presence of subsidy in itself,
yes,
was a palliative?
Yes, of course. That's why it's called subsidy.
So
why are you taking away the subsidy that Nigerians would have been enjoying and you're replacing it with subsidy that you'll be sharing money to your ministers in the name of helping poor people.
This is the
One
first
minister
time.
got 438 million.
Hold on, before we start to say figures that we cannot.
No, it's not in the open.
Are you absolutely telling us right now that
Yes.
you are against the removal of fuel subsidy?
Let me tell you, the first thing I said was I do not support subsidy. And it is in the sense that we ought not to be paying subsidy in the first place. How can a nation that is about the 6th largest producer of oil in the world be paying subsidy? That's an indictment. That shows the incompetence and corruption. So I was not against subsidy in the sense that it is being used to help people. I was against it that we ought not to have been paying it. So we should do the right thing to make us not to pay it, which is repairing our refineries, selling those ones that are public.
Okay, so removing the fuel subsidy.
Yes. When you it is punishment on the people when you don't have alternative. Then you're talking about palliative. What do you mean by palliative? If you want to give a palliative, don't remove the subsidy because it's palliative in its own, which will have positive effect in the country. You don't remove the palliative that will have positive effect and start sharing the loot among your ministers. So I told them when they removed, they said, you've made a mistake because you would have destroyed your economy. That's why I told them they should be careful in coming out of subsidy. I campaigned against subsidy in the sense that it is corruption and incompetence that made us to be paying it in the first place when we have 4 refineries. When Dangote is almost completing the refinery. So why do you remove it at this time? When you are at the end of it, you would have sustained the subsidy, ensure that all this money you're borrowing, you're not borrowing it to have 100 cars following you. You're not borrowing it to give 5 billion naira to your wife to eat. You're not borrowing it to give 15 billion naira to repair the house of the people.
There is quite a lot. There is quite a lot that this has brought out into the society. I mean, there's a lot that has happened since removal of fuel subsidy,
absolutely,
especially with the economy and with the Nigerian people. And I wanted to get your thoughts before we go. We wanted to be able to find out your thoughts on on President Tinubu, reducing the cost of governance, showing the Nigerian people. You don't believe it? It is
optics. We're talking about reduction of the cost of governance.
60%.
Let him first of all reduce the number of his ministers to 37. What is he doing with 48? Optics. You say you reduced it. No, he didn't reduce the cost. He reduced the number of people following officers. So what you just need to do is to double your trip and you will achieve the same cost.
Okay.
Now, optics, you suspended a minister. Suspension is not a punishment. They suspended one accountant general that they say he took 109 billion. Later he has been turbaned to be the high chief in his place. They suspended one central bank governor. From there he proceeded to become an enemy of Kanu. They removed him as enemy of Kanu, suspended, banished. From there he became a caliphate.
These are all optics. You're not
prosecute and convict. Apart from that,
optics. Why haven't you run for political office?
No, I have aspired before to be a governor.
Okay.
And I refused to go in to do the primary election. I had aspired to be a member of the House of Representatives. The situation was not clean enough for me to go in.
What about now?
Now I am fighting for a new Nigeria. You have to secure the ground first before looking for the mats. That is why I looked for a politician that I believe that has what it takes to bring a new Nigeria. Can't you see I'm focusing on the presidency? Because if we don't get the president right in Nigeria, we will not get anything right. The reason is because we have either rightly or wrongly evolved a political tradition where the elected people are the leaders of the political party. Immediately they are elected. Now, the president has all it takes to change Nigeria. That's why I'm concentrating on God giving us the right candidate that will give us a new Nigeria. So now, my personal ambition is secondary to the pursuit for a new Nigeria.
What do you?
If I want to run,
if you want to run,
they would want to seek compromises from me, which I'm not ready to give.
Who's they? The Labour Party?
Politicians and the political collective.
The political class.
Absolutely. Now, when they seek such conditions from you, when I wanted to run for the government, I knew what some people were telling me.
What kind of conditions are these?
If you want to be recruited as a politician, come in. And you will know that.
No, thank you.
It's not something I wish to share with the journalists.
No, but for people out there who are probably thinking, I can do this. If there is something out there,
people come to you, some rightly, some wrongly, some altruistically, selflessly, some very selfishly. And I am not ready to compromise my principles and my ideologies. I'm not ready to do that. So my political ambition, knowing that there are certain things I'm not willing to cave into, is secondary now to my fight for a new Nigeria.
Well, we do have to wrap up here, but I really enjoyed talking to you.
Me too.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo, for being with us on Political Paradigm. Good luck.
Thank you.
With all you have ahead of you, and I hope to talk to you soon.
Me too.
We have been speaking with actor, columnist, and politician Kenneth Okonkwo.